Welcome back to another episode of the Pin High Podcast presented by Pin High Media. This week, we're going to talk about Jon Rahm's win down at Vedanta in Mexico at the Mexico Open. We're going to preview the Wells Fargo a little bit with some picks, and we're going to introduce a bunch of new segments to start the episode. So let's get right into that.
This is Jordan Spieth here, and
this is the Pin High Podcast.
All right, let's get inside the ropes. So this week we're gonna change it up a little bit. We're gonna start with some segments, and then we're gonna get into some PGA Tour talk. Switching it up a little bit.
But a reverse order.
Well, reverse order, just for the fans. So the first segment of this episode, we're going to call the weekend golfer. It's golf season. It's May, even though it does not feel like it because it's 53 degrees outside.
It feels like it for me.
Well, okay, you're in the South.
90 degrees.
This is a Northeast
90.
podcast.
No. Yeah.
I don't know the demographics, but if they had them in front of me, maybe. So anyway, we're going to talk about, our struggles as weekend golfers, as newly weekend golfers, because, we're 23 years old and just graduated college. It's the first time that we can't play golf all day every week during the summer.
Yeah. I mean, let's go back a couple years, right? Because we had the pandemic, and Pat and I were talking about the pandemic, how crazy was that? How often did we play golf in the pandemic? How many days a week?
Crazy.
5 days a week, probably 18 holes.
Yeah. So I think
our off days were just because we were like, I just need a day off from golf.
Right. And I think other Trev and I went into our health apps and found, or was it, maybe it was you, we found the steps, and we're like, wow. So I played golf this day, this day, this day, this day. And it was 6 days a week. So,
but it was funny because if you didn't golf, you didn't do anything.
Exactly. So, it was golf or video games. So
it was 60 steps or honestly 300 or 7,000.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we played golf every single day, but now we're transitioning into the weekend golf, and it has not treated us very well to begin, at least.
No, and I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming, Trevor, you haven't played 18 holes this season yet, have you?
I have not.
I have a few times.
Last time I played was Thanksgiving. Was my last actual full round, I think.
Wow.
That long ago.
Wow. No, the PGA show.
Oh yeah, of course. And that went great.
Oh, that went awesome. But anyway, we can go into this week, I guess. Me and Jeek played our home course, Silvermine, as I'm sure you have all heard us say plenty of times. And you've broken 80 there, right? Or do you break 80 at the other course?
I broke an 80 at Silvermine once, and I've broken 80 at another course once.
Yeah.
But that is totally not in the cards right now.
My low round is at Silvermine Golf Club, and it's 76, and I've never broken 80 outside of Silvermine. And it's just not an easy court. It's not it's also not.
It's just tricky. It's not a hard course.
Tricky. It's not
just
long.
Real tricky.
If I gave you the scorecard, you'd be like, oh, this is a executive.
But there's weird dog legs. There's out of bounds this close to the fairway. It's internal out of bounds. The greens are just weird, inconsistent.
Yeah, and they force you to lay up off of some tees, dog legs, uphill, downhill. It's tough. It's challenging, and I feel when you put it into the handicap system, it kind of fudges your handicap a little bit, because you could shoot higher score there, and the slopes and ratings are not that high, so your handicap.
If you don't know, if you don't, it's a hard course to play if you don't know it. I feel
right. Yeah.
Agreed.
Right.
So exactly. But the moral of the story is, if you do know how to play it, because you played it 100 times like me and Jeek have, you can score well. But
yeah, so I mean, I could give you my scores the last 4 times I played, because I played 4 weekends now since the start of the golf season, and actually wildly consistent. 87, 87, 87, 102. So last week we played a little weekend golf. Pat was like, okay, he was in the city and I was at home, and like I wasn't planning on playing golf, and I don't think you were either. And you're like, do you want to go play golf? And I was like, sure. So we get out and
Hop
go
on a
play
train.
golf. And like, I had shot 87 the last 4 times I played. I was like, okay, like my game's not fully there, but like I had my irons down for like a lot of the part. And when I tell you the ball looked like a peanut, it really did the entire round. Just nothing went right.
No, and I mean, I had some ball striking throughout the round. I mean, I hit my driver amazing, but like it just, for neither of us, it did not come together. I shot a 99, she shot a 102.
Yeah, and to like put that in perspective, I have not shot over 100 there in like 6 years, 5 years. Like
Yeah,
high school. Like, I haven't shot over 100 there in like 5 years.
Yeah. So it was one of those days. It wasn't scoring conditions. It's end of April. It was April 30th.
No, but it was like it was a good.
It was
Saturday,
windy.
Right? It was windy, but it was also like it was a good, decent end of April day.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad day at all.
Like it was like 60s, wasn't it?
But yeah,
like in the city it was.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. It was just a little windy. The greens were faster than what we're used to, but the transition into weekend golf, like Pat said this, like I don't know what a good score for us is right now. Like when we're not going out there hitting the range
throughout the summer, I'd imagine.
I mean, I hope.
It's I've found like even like last year, like I worked golf tournaments, so I was like around it more. But like I found like when you first start to get like not play really much at all after like you've been used to playing a lot, you do get worse, but then you like slowly kind of like realize like, okay, like you get more consistent as it goes on. And then like, but it's like it's just not as like sharp of a increase as like if you're playing like every single day. Like you're just to get like slowly more consistent and realize you like and value the playing and practice time more, I guess, if that makes sense.
The problem is you can be rusty and shoot well at a longer course, maybe, and longer and like less difficult around the greens course, but we go home to a course where you literally can hit the ball like 100 yards off the tee and still make par if you're like okay at around the greens.
Exactly. So, it's actually
and being rusty. The short game's the first thing.
So when I go to like when I go to a longer course, I have zero confidence with the driver right now. Every time I step up with the driver, I just hit it like straight right, like it's a full slice. And like I'm not usually like a normal like slicer of a driver. I usually hit it like relatively consistent. I'll shank a couple every once in a while just because I'm not confident with it. I use my driver like twice on that golf course. And like, so I have nothing of a driver. So when I go to a longer course and I have to hit a driver, I can't do it. And I just have to pull like 2-iron in every tee. And you would think a 2-iron would be harder to hit than a driver, but it's just not for me. So,
and that actually kind of takes me into our next segment. And it's actually not the Reddit question, but it's going to be a question that I raised. That's kind of like a hypothetical. But it goes off this. It stems from my new approach to hole number 5 Jeek.
Okay. So lay out the hole.
I'll set the scene. You got a short par 4. How much do you think it is to carry to the green?
It's probably about 260 to carry to the green, but it is like 100 yards uphill.
Yes. Okay. You have the option of literally hitting at most it's like a 7-iron just to a small fairway.
Yeah, so this is what I do on this hole every time. I pull a 7-iron or an 8-iron, just hit it into the middle of the fairway. I have like 100 yards, but it's uphill. So, and like the flag, you can't really see it when you're hitting up the hill.
One of the hardest golf courses.
That's usually about like 90 yards, and I always feel like I hit a good shot, and it always ends up long over the green or like short of the green. So that's the hard part about it. So I guess that brings us into Pat's new approach for this hole.
So you have right is OB. If you miss right, you're gone. You're into the woods, and there's no chance of coming back if you go for it with a driver. But left there's nothing, there's trees obviously.
If you go far enough left, you're okay. It's almost like one of those PGA Tour holes where like they go left on purpose into another fairway. There's like a 17 fairway. If you go far enough left, you're okay. If
Those
I went
trees
left
are
with
tall left though, right?
if I went left with my, but if
Yeah.
you hit it far enough, if I went left with like my 7-iron, then like I'm in trouble because there's a bunker and there's high trees and I'm like.
But if you go left with your
but
driver, you're
if you
fine.
go left with your driver, you're probably okay.
So let's just simplify this. Right is dead, left, you're like pretty much okay with the driver. And in my thinking, my new approach to the holes, I'm just aiming a little bit left of the green. And, you know, if I hit it like left, whatever, if I hit it a little bit right, it's like probably on the green or just short. The only thing is like, if you know your miss is only going to be left and not right.
The Bryson,
which I think mine is. I think
the
it's
Bryson
okay.
method. Yeah.
But
I
if
like
you
that
lay
'cause
up, then it's one of the hardest shots on the course.
Yeah, like that shot from down there is just it's so hard to judge.
Yeah, it's just like
you
for somebody
cannot judge it.
like me, it's just not in play because like I know
Yeah.
that my miss is going to be right. So like
And
I
like
can't do it.
and think about like I know Pat's like played Silver Spring a lot more, but like it's like hole 7 at Silver Spring. If you're at the bottom of that hill, like you're so much more likely to just like chunk it. Like if you're trying to hit like a soft little wedge up a hill like that, it's just like a weird, awkward number and a weird shot. And like you're right, hitting it as close to the green as possible with the driver or a 3-wood or whatever it is, and just like make sure the bailout is left is probably absolutely is the play.
So that is the new strategy on a short par 4, because short par 4s, I feel like every single one, there's a different, you know, type of strategy.
There's always and there's something.
Well, think about
stopping you
there's something stopping you from going for it.
Was it 7 right across the road? Like
Yeah.
if you bail out, just bail out right. If you're gonna bail out,
Yeah, if you
like,
hit it left, you're on the
you
street.
can't go left. You have to bail out right. If you bail out right, you're like in like there's those trees
and then,
are not big.
but I also found that hole that's like one of the easiest chips up if you just hit like a lawn iron off the tee. So like Pat and I realized like if you end up in the fairway and you don't make at least a par, like it feels like a triple bogey. So like I think we both like
I agree with that too.
Par. If you hit any club and you don't make par, it feels bad.
But that was more of just a general question of like, on a par 4, if you can, on a short par 4, if you can guarantee your miss is to the side where there's, you know, where it's not danger, do you go for it?
It's the whole, I don't know if you follow like Scott Fawcett on Twitter, the whole decade thing. And like this the guy who's a pro at my club, like he uses it too. Like he plays professional tournaments, and it's like it's all about like where the trouble is on the hole, and just playing for par, and like where the trouble is in the hole, like playing just away from the trouble, and even like and taking out driver, like if like you're on a tight par 4 and it's like there's no bunkers, or there's a bunker like on the right side and you know your miss is right. I'm not explaining it well, but it's basically like if the driver can get over all the trouble, like if it was like a 2-shot par 4, then like there's no reason not to hit driver. It's just like it gains so much more shots than hitting a 2-iron that might stay in the fairway a little bit more. But and his whole thing is like get as close to the green as possible and avoid
just in general. It's Bryson won a US Open,
and Bryson uses that.
He was like, I'm gonna hit it as far as I possibly can, and I'm gonna be closer to the green by 100 yards than all these guys, and it's gonna be so much easier. And now you have to be good with your wedges to be able to do that, but it does make a difference. Now, if you're crappy with your wedges, then like you're not gonna win golf tournaments, which is like what happened to Bryson like recently. It's why he doesn't win every week, because sometimes his wedges just aren't there.
This would be a cool experiment to do. We should I'll come back up one day, and we should play Silvermine one day without any woods, and then the next day like only hang like only hang driver or the max club.
I think you could take even like you could play Silvermine taking away all the clubs up to like 6. Or 6 above 6 and above, like 7 and below are the only clubs you need. I think you could get around except
Oh
for
no,
maybe the par fives.
you absolutely could, but I'm saying like on holes where like I might hit a like you could hit five like a 7-iron on 5 or on like 4 or 7 or something like that. But like instead of like doing that, like just like taking out driver on all those holes and just like blasting. It obviously we're not nearly even close as accurate as like PGA Tour pros, but like it might. I don't know. Like I've been saying this whole time. Silver mine is I should go out there and play with no driver. Maybe, but maybe I should go out there and play with only driver and see what happens.
Be interesting to go for it all
Yeah.
around. There's guys like Micah Morris who have made videos where it's like, what can I shoot if I go aggressive as possible the whole
Yeah,
time?
exactly.
So it's an interesting debate. But
yeah, the aggressive versus conservative approach, pretty much.
exactly.
Mhm.
That's golf.
And it all comes down to preference. You could win a golf tournament hitting the ball like Bryson, or you can win a golf tournament just being a super finesse player. And we've seen it on the PGA Tour. So
Yeah.
why not?
Let's get into the next Reddit question. We're still looking for a name for this segment. So if you have any ideas, you can DM us on Instagram. But we got this question off Reddit. It's like basically just hypothetical, or not hypothetical, but really just a question based off of someone's experience. So they said, this weekend I was playing with my dad and it was a typical slow Saturday in a public golf course. So, I'm assuming this is like a 5-hour round. Me and my dad are about 20 yards in front of the green on a par 5 when the guys behind us fire a shot onto the green from only like 150 yards behind us. We weren't playing slow, but the course was just packed that day. Neither group said anything about it the rest of the day. Whose job is it to address this? Kind of, I'll add my own thing onto it.
Whose job is it to address it?
What do you do here if you're both sides?
I mean, I feel like if you're the group that got hit into, right? That's the group that needs to like be like, chill out, guys. Like it's slow in front of us. I know
So you're
you
saying
guys are
it's
slow.
not on the guys being pushy
Oh,
to say
no.
anything?
I mean, they should apologize, but if they're like you mentioned, if they're that close and like basically doing it like just like to like be like almost like assholes, it sounds like it doesn't
The thing here
like,
that's the important part is that it's a public golf course and it's slow and they're probably waiting on the people in front of them who are waiting on the people in front of them who are waiting on the people in front of them.
Yeah, it's frustrating, but like if you hit, the only thing I think about it, like if you hit up on somebody, like you still have to wait for them to finish the hole to like also finish the hole. So it's not like you're speeding up at
No,
all. Like
you're only causing more
You're making-
conflict.
you're making
just
things
not doing
worse.
anything. You're not doing.
Making things
You're
worse.
actually slowing down the pace of the
And
play.
trust me, I'm a proponent of the warning shot if someone is like not letting you play ahead and
yeah, and that's a whole different situation. Like,
and it's
like
not a big day. Yeah.
if it's like if there's someone's just playing slow and they're not letting you go through and there's no one in front of them, that's like yeah, like public golf course, like warning shot might be warranted in that situation.
It's not
Well,
even
that's
like
a great thing
it's like I have an analogy for the warning shot. It's like when you're trying to intentionally hit somebody in baseball, right?
Yeah,
You want to hit them in the face.
There's a way to do it. There's a way to do it, right? You hit them like on the backside, like kind of low, right? That's like the warning shot. Now, the hitting up on somebody is when you're trying to hit somebody and you aim right for their head, and like that's what you're not supposed to do, and that's when the bench is clear. So that's when the bench is clear on the golf course.
Here's another thing. It's like these guys can be in the middle of the fairway. There's still a 0.01% chance I hit them with this shot.
I mean, I guess if you hit them and you can't hit a flag when you're aiming for the green, then like we got issues.
But yeah, no, we're not saying we're proponents of just hitting up on people all the time.
No.
The guys that hit up on them are for sure in the wrong.
And you know what? If somebody hits up on you, there's strategic plays when somebody hits up on you and you're not happy about it.
I tee up the ball.
I tee up the ball. Yeah, exactly.
I tee up the ball. You could also
I actually have done it like
it's been done
at
to me
least 10
before.
times.
Yeah, roll over it with a cart is a favorite. There's a lot of
Steal
things
the
you could do.
ball.
Honestly,
You could
honestly,
just
you
get
should
take the ball.
honestly a funny
Put
one.
the ball in the hole so that they think they got a hole in one.
Yeah.
And then
No,
when they
but
get to the
that gives
next
them
tee,
like that.
It
that-
gives
that
them,
makes-
like,
that
and
makes
then
them
when they get to
happy.
the next tee, you go, you didn't actually get a hole in
No,
one.
you grab
Yeah,
their
yes.
ball and then put another
What
ball.
if you
in
just
the
draw
hole.
what if you just draw a little frowny face on their mark a little frowny face on their golf ball?
That's a
and they
that's a
can't
good
face
one.
off.
Draw a frowny face.
There's plenty of things they won't hit up on you again if you do some of these things.
That's a good one, Trevor. I'm gonna have to steal that one.
I will definitely
Make sure you
definitely
carry
mark
a
it.
Sharpie around with you. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you got your ball mark. I got my
Yeah.
ball markers in my bag in my one pocket. I think it's honestly like something like that. Like if that happens, like, and the people, if the people behind don't apologize, like they're just assholes and don't and are just unaware of what's going on around them. And like all I think about is like they're just pissed off. There's
I mean,
really
yeah.
that's just
and
that's just,
you-
that's
honestly,
just
you gotta
But
like
at the
enjoy.
end of
You
the day,
gotta
don't play
enjoy the
public golf
day.
then.
You could be
exactly.
doing. You could be doing something else during the day that is not playing golf. So like, take even if it's a 5-hour round.
Be
just enjoy
respectful
it.
out there.
Yeah, just enjoy it.
Be respectful, have fun, take a little more time to talk to your friends or drink a little more beer. Nothing wrong with that. And if you're not playing well, take a little breather.
Exactly.
Relax.
And then that does it for the segments this week. And we're definitely gonna think of some more. But just a nice little
Also,
you know,
hit us
different
in the
start to the-
DMs. Hit us in the DMs. You have your golf story. We'll talk about it.
Yeah,
DMs,
That's a-
tweeted us.
it's a
Anything.
nice way to start the week.
Yeah.
Yeah. little change up. But on that note,
I'm jealous of you both playing golf, by the way, too. And I was in New York, and I was obviously doing other things, but I'm very jealous. I haven't been able to play golf yet, and I'm looking forward to getting out and playing sometime soon.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be playing
Hopefully.
again this weekend, so I could redeem myself, hopefully.
Yeah.
The other
Cool.
thing about our golf course that we didn't even mention, no driving range. So you can't even like get all of it out of you like before the round. Like you get to the first tee, like Pat and I 150 tee time. Pat shows up at 150 sharp because there's a little traffic, had to change,
Yeah.
whatever. I had to bring him home, get him, whatever.
I mean, an
150
hour and a
sharp,
half prior.
you get up
Hey,
there
it
and
saves-
you have to hit a
it
shot. I
saves a
hit
lot of
I
time.
hit terrible shot off the tee. Pat stripes his driver, and I was pretty impressed.
Oh, I hit one like 275 right down the middle.
Yeah, but like, who won the hole?
Jeek, I got an 8 on the
Oh,
hole.
who won the match?
Well,
I guess no one.
I guess
But-
me.
we didn't really play a match, but yes.
There was
I
no
think
nobody won.
There was
that
no
day.
winners.
Yeah.
There was no winners of that round. No one won.
We're talking like who played less poorly by
Or, yeah,
3 strokes.
I think so. Like, I think I was a little
that's
bit
not
better.
fun.
I was a little
That's
bit better
not a
around the
fun day.
greens, but he was a lot better off the tee. So it like almost evened out. Like,
Yeah.
like Pat was playing
Yeah.
tennis on the greens, and I was like hitting it like straight right off the tee. So
Yeah. Not putting. I wasn't playing tennis putting. I was playing tennis with my wedges.
like, yeah, chipping. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a terrible
right.
feeling.
Let's get into some PGA Tour talk. Why don't we? So Mexico Open really wasn't a bad tournament. It wasn't a stinker. It
No.
wasn't a good field.
Wasn't a good field. Wasn't a headline tournament.
It wasn't a stinker. Jon Rahm, odds-on favorite, plus 350 or 4-1, wherever you got it. None of us took that because
No,
you
no.
kind of got to be a
Who would
weirdo
take, who would take
to
that?
lay that unless
There's
if
no
I think
value
threw like a
there.
lot of money on it.
Yeah. There's
Not
no
odd,
value.
but it's just he won by 1 stroke. It's not like he went out there
Well,
and dominated.
So how many outright winners did we have in the top 6? 3. I had Finau. Trevor and I both had Finau.
Yep.
I had Davis Riley, who finished 2 back, and you had Cam Champ, who finished 3
Yep.
back. So like
And
we
Cam
were
Champ.
on it. We had
We were.
guys, but in the end, the best player in the field won the tournament. Did what he had to do. I mean, even the last round was not that pretty for Jon Rahm. 2 under.
No.
Only won by 1. Wu and Finau, both 8 under final rounds, were really pushing.
Crazy that there
in
was a
the
lot of
clubhouse.
scoring out there, but if you're in that final group, you're just in a different mindset. And I feel like you don't like those guys never shoot like 6, 7 under. or anything like
But they
that.
also don't
Yeah,
shoot
you're in
7
that.
or 8 over, so
No,
different golf.
It's
Well, some
it's a
do.
very like you said, like if they're in the lead, like even if they're on like 14, they're in the lead. Like they're playing, like they're kind of just playing just like to maintain what they can like maintain their advantage, which is just like doing like playing is it maybe that's playing conservatively, and but like they can do that better. Like a guy like Rahm can do that better than a guy like Brandon Wu, like who probably if he was in that position, he might have a few more bogeys, or he might not be playing as well, or he might be a little bit or not playing what he'd be used to be playing on a day like that. Like it's the experience that Rahm had in that position, I'm sure helped just immensely compared to the rest of their like Kirk Kitayama, Davis Riley.
A takeaway you
um,
can
Brandon
take
Wu.
from this week is that, you know, when there's a course where where there's wide fairways and you can just bomb it and just get away with bombing it, Cameron Champ's gonna play well at that course.
Yeah, he's that guy, really. Also another thing just to like take away, that was Jon Rahm's first win since the US Open, I believe. And like you could say like he was number 1 in the world. Scheffler got over him. You could say that Rahm hasn't had the best year, really.
Nope.
And his putter has really let him down. He's been 114th strokes gained putting this year, which is
That's wild.
he's a
was
good
he in the
putter.
field this week? Was he?
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to get to. He was he gained 3.5 strokes putting this week. Most of those came in the first 2 rounds, but was 18th in the field strokes gained putting, which is still not great. Still not great, but like we've said this about so many players, but like when the putter is like there's not a lot of players better. I mean, and like all of his other stats were there this year. It's just like wasn't putting well, and that was why he wasn't winning tournaments. So
and this was the first tournament since the Farmers where he finished T3 that he's finished positive, or he finished like putted this well, and like that was like kind of like the end of that stretch of like dominance. Then he like had like a couple finishes outside top 20 at T55. Still had T at T10 and the T9 at the Dell Technologies, but like just kind of like he kind of needed this week to kind of get back on track. And I mean the PGA is in what couple of weeks now.
Yeah, and
3
like
weeks.
he's first in strokes gained off the tee for the full year out of everybody. First in greens and regulation percentage. He's 13th in strokes gained approach, but 114th in strokes gained putting, 153rd in strokes around the green. Like when he just cleans up those parts, when he cleans up those parts of his game, like even if he just cleans up putting and not really around the green, like he wins the tournament a lot of the times. And we say this about a handful of guys. I mean, Rory McIlroy, Colin Morikawa, guys like that. But like Jon Rahm was the number 1 player in the world, and Scottie Scheffler took that from him, and I'm sure he's not too happy about that. So it's good to see him get a win before the next major.
Right.
And then also another thing on Rahm, he won the US Open last year and the Mexico Open. Does he go for the Triple Crown at the RBC Canadian Open?
He
might have to.
You see that on Twitter or something?
I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah.
And like I saw him, I'm like that's really good. I think
you should get something if you do that,
like Tron or something like that.
Yeah,
they should make that if like the Mexico Open stays a thing. Obviously, it's the first year of the Mexico Open, but like make it some, or like the quadruple crown, like the British Open, like make it some kind of like prize or extra incentive, making people think about it.
Yeah, I mean, and then like some other things to mention about the tournament. Tony Finau also hasn't had like too hot of a season, but like a couple weeks in a row, 8 under. Yeah, I mean Tony Finau and Kurt Kitayama in short fields usually plays pretty well. So
I don't want to say Tony Finau's back because it's really the worst week to take into heavy consideration.
we had the logic last
great
week
approach
picking him. We picked Tony Finau because the tournament was not like a US tournament. So So
Yeah, no,
you have to do
I
it.
listened to the podcast
That
last
seems to
week.
be trending.
It's a
That seems to be
formula
trending.
for him. So
Yeah.
I was out last week. I was sick, but I listened to the podcast on Wednesday, I think. And I also had that take just in my mind, even though I wasn't on the podcast. But I was like, I mean, it's the Mexico Open, and you got
that's a Pin High podcast special right there.
Yeah.
The Puerto Rico Open curse.
If we had a sports book, that would be the Pin High special.
Just literally just like whenever the next tournament is, it's not in the US, and it's not, or ends like it's like a weird random tournament. Like
wait, but didn't that, what was the thing that got disproved about that though?
you won in the US, but it ended on a Monday.
Yeah. It ended on Monday. That's how it was.
So I said last week is like he and Xander are kind of the weird. They're the champions of the weird, obscure, really random golf tournaments.
It's a real shame he didn't
in the Olympics.
It's a real shame like him or Hovland didn't win like the Players this year, ending on a Monday. That would have just been
that would have been perfect. That would have been so funny. That would like literally would have been like that would have been a good win for them, and it would have cemented our status as the the Puerto Rico curse is still on.
Right.
In some
so last thing before we get into skins, Justine Reed went off again.
Oh my gosh!
Just in the most classic Justine Reed fashion. You have to wonder. So I was thinking about this. We can talk about the tweet right after this, but just the account in general that Justine Reed runs, that's a burner that everybody knows is her.
Yeah, at use golf facts.
If you were standing next to her at like a golf tournament, because you know it's possible that you end up standing next to somebody's wife or their dad, and you just like she's right here, and you just go use golf facts. She probably goes like, because she knows it's hard.
Yeah,
like, I would love to get that.
You just mentioned in a sentence, like you're just like talking about you're use golf facts. Has some great takes. Like Patrick Reed, like he's really getting boned down here on tour,
like with the eyes, like, or like just a slight head down. Like,
I mean, just a little bit of.
It'd be interesting because you could get someone to videotape that, and it would be some nice proof.
She's doing it on purpose. She's doing it on purpose.
It is.
Like, because if you were smart about the burner, like you would just keep creating accounts, right? You wouldn't use the same account since December of 2019.
The tweet?
Yeah. I have the tweet up here.
I have it too.
It's absurd actually. So context. Tiger went to Southern Hills this week. It looks like he's going to be playing in the PGA. And he got a practice round, and he got his practice round with the director of golf at Southern Hills. And the on May 1st, the tweet, and it's a pinned tweet on the account right now. So like she's really, really loving it right now. Wow. I wonder what it's like to have the director of golf at Southern Hills give you all, in all caps, the course notes you need for the upcoming PGA Championship. Do all players get this treatment at PGA? For Tiger Woods, this is just embarrassing. That PGA posted this photo, and it's very telling. Like, that was the tweet. She's hating on Tiger.
Well, not even hating on Tiger, just like a ridiculous take. Because like Wesley Bryan responded, he's like, I went out to Hilton Head or whatever, Savannah, and went out, like he went out with like the head pro, and like they were just talking about like the golf course then. Like it's like any PGA Tour pro could go out to any course and like ask like for information. Like it's public knowledge, like to ask for like information from like a pro at a golf course before a golf tournament. And just so happens that Tiger like isn't playing on the PGA Tour basically right now because has no reason to. And he's just gonna go prep at Southern Hills, and a place he happened to have also won a major. It's so funny. It's so petty, basically.
Yeah, some of these tweets are all hilarious. Going back to like July, how many times does Patrick Reed have to start early / late? Not just in all the majors, but the regular events too. It's so obvious. It's so obvious.
Like you really have to wonder, like, is there ever gonna, like, she ever gonna get interviewed? Is he ever gonna get interviewed? And like that's fair game, or is that just going to be a deep dark unknown of like whether she knows that people know and she's
I wonder
just delusional?
I wonder what P. Reed thinks about this, or does he just not even get into it?
He probably supports it. He probably just like
I could see him just thinking it was funny.
I bet that's probably actually like what he thinks. He probably just thinks he just thinks it's really like just kind of
That's
funny.
my
And, like,
wife.
but like I
Jokester.
can also see him that like if he gets asked about it, like kind of like laughing it off. If it is out there like that actually is his wife. But
He'd
then
probably be
like
like, I don't really use Twitter.
but like behind the scenes, like him being like yeah, this stuff that this is ridiculous. Like all this is so stupid. Like I'm getting conspired against. Like that's just what I see Patrick Reed in my mind.
I mean,
Which
yeah,
is
if you
just
so the tweets are like pretty obvious. Like if you go even further back, November 12th,
President's Cup or
2020,
the Ryder Cup team.
nobody should be awarded a major championship without the pressure and excitement the fans bring. The fans have to be at the majors. Like pretty much saying that Justin Johnson's Masters win doesn't count.
Speaking of people who like people don't seem to like recently, Kevin Na. What do you think? What do you think of that whole situation with Grayson Murray?
I
They're going at it. They're still going back and forth.
Yeah.
And like,
honestly, it makes me not like. It makes me dislike both of them a little.
Well, Grayson Murray, people already don't like.
yeah,
He's
and he
not a
actually
good
played
guy.
well
Like-
this week too.
He did.
Yeah.
Silence the haters.
Kevin Na was kind of like he was kind of fun with the walk-in putts, but like it's like this whole situation about like him playing slow and Grayson Murray is kind of being an asshole about it. Just like no one like there's different kind of drama, and like this kind of drama. It's just like I don't know. I don't really need to see.
Yeah, I wonder if this ends up on the Netflix series. If
I
this
hope
is
it
just like
does.
all made up for the Netflix series.
I think Kevin Na would be like,
I mean,
I don't
Kevin
know. He
Na's
seems like the
also
kind of guy
Kevin
who'd be
Na's
all in.
also rumored to be making the jump to the other
Yeah.
tour. So,
it's true.
which I mean, get your money, but
We should
Let-
become.
let-
We've already said this, but we should become the official podcast of the LIV tour.
yeah, I want to
can
know
we
more
get-
about it.
All right, let's do. We'll reach out to Greg Norman today.
Yeah, we'll make it
See what he
happen.
says. Last thing on Patrick Reed, I saw Golf Digest posted an article on Twitter, and it said, something about like learn how Patrick Reed gets out of the sand, and like all the replies are just that picture
Yeah.
of like him just.
I saw that. That's funny.
It was,
I saw
like,
the
it was
post. I didn't see the
perfect timing. Like I don't know if it was on purpose or not, but it was just so funny. Everything going on with the Justin.
If only
Reed
I
kinda
could have
thing.
done that from the Elijah Craig account.
I know it was so
can't,
perfect.
Hilarious.
Okay, so I guess that wraps it up for.
Well, we have
for
Tiger.
this.
We didn't talk about
We do have
Tiger
Tiger.
too.
We do also only have 2 minutes. And
No, I
30
really
seconds.
don't want to talk about Tiger.
Yeah, we
I
talk
don't
about him
care.
every week.
You don't want to talk about Tiger.
Yeah, I don't care.
We'll hit Tiger the week before the major when he announces that he's playing in it.
You weren't tracking his jet to Southern Hills this week.
Okay.
We don't need to. They like videoed his entire.
I know. I
practice round.
saw that. Yeah. Like, and the only thing I have to say is like, how cool would it be to like be playing like a college event or a high school golf event and a course, and you just see Tiger Woods on the tee next to you like that. Like that's pretty cool.
That would be
Yeah.
pretty cool.
That's really cool.
All right, let's get into skins. All right, skins. We're playing the Wells Fargo at TPC Potomac this year because the President's Cup is there in the fall.
I
So-
forgot.
Yeah, I
it's a
forgot that
TPC.
Yeah, no, I
I
just know that.
Threw in
'cause
the show notes from
I
last year.
completely
so-
forgot about that.
Yeah,
That
you should get Quill
I
Hollow.
was thinking strictly Quill Hollow, but
So
Yeah.
the Quicken Loans National.
Rory, and Rory. This
The
week.
Quicken
doing-
Loans National was played there, and I'll just give you a quick little background on that because I did some research.
please do, because I need
Earlier today.
I might have to update a couple.
The only stat that really separated the field was driving accuracy, and then kind of strokes, like ball striking was more important than on and around the greens.
I have to change
But
every single one of my picks.
That changes every single pick.
Because
Literally
going from
every
Quail
pick.
Hollow, Quail Hollow
But-
is about hitting the ball as far as possible.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
so
but
that's
it can kind of be different because or it can be deceiving because off the tee it's I'm sorry, there's just a siren so loud outside.
I can't hear it. I can't hear it at all, actually.
Sorry, it's deceiving because off the tee you're laying up a lot.
Okay.
So, you know,
That's
not,
good.
Driving
no
accuracy
longer,
goes
no
up.
longer
I'm
loving my
okay with
picks.
that.
No longer
driving
loving my
accuracy
picks.
goes up when you're
Yeah.
laying up off the tee. So,
All right, I've switched gears.
do you want me to go
You know,
first? Since
honestly, I'm not even gonna
Yeah.
change them. I'm not even changing my picks.
Don't
I-
overthink it.
honestly,
Don't overthink
it's
Don't overthink it.
I
That's
didn't
like
overthink
Cam
it,
Young
but I
at
thought it was.
RBC. Don't overthink it.
But that's a,
Don't overthink it.
I Cam Young in my original picks. On this.
Yeah, I have Cam Young in my original picks too, so I'm keeping it, staying with it.
All right.
So, who was up the most? I was up
You were up the
1.75.
most.
Yes, and I'm second.
Yeah,
I was up the most.
this week. I had the guy who finished T second as an outright, and the guy who finished T third as an outright. So pain.
Sweet. How much am I up this year? 14.24.
Yeah.
Cool.
Only a little bit higher than me.
My professional handicapper. There was
Scory.
I don't know. Baseball.
You aren't, but Scory is.
Scory is.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's the outright card. We'll just go through this real quick. I can't miss out on Scory winning a tournament. And you know, honestly, what I just said kind of fits Scory.
Yeah, that's the
So-
first name that popped into my head when you said
Got
that.
him 19-1. Seamus Power, another one that came to mind just when I saw his name, kind of leapt off the page at me. Just gave me that tingly feeling. Don't know what it is. Like Seamus Power wins the Wells Fargo at TPC Potomac. Just I don't know. It just felt right.
Okay.
And he's been doing very well. I got Scory top 20, Max Homa top 30, Matthew Neesmith top 40, 1 unit on each of those, and then I have
My boy.
then my final unit on those 3 parlayed.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just kind of going with the Max Homa Wells Fargo thing, even though like technically it's not where he won in 2019, but it still does fit him because he's a good ball striker. And you know, sometimes he struggles around the green, but you know, it's not as important this week.
All right.
Trev, you got the
next.
honors unless you're not ready.
I'm ready.
Yeah, go
I'm just
ahead.
gonna go with my gut. These are my gut picks after I changed from my other gut picks based off the course knowledge I had. Start off with a couple winners. I'll go Matt Fitzpatrick, post 100. You talk about ball strikers course and laying up
That
on
guy doesn't
tees.
win.
He doesn't win.
He does not
He
win.
doesn't win.
Well, he's due. Now he's
Okay.
due for a win. Just like all the other guys I said were due for a win and haven't won yet. And then I'll go Mark Leishman. Like you said, Pat, like kind of like Seamus Power kind of jumped off the page. Mark Leishman kind of like just good iron player, good all around, solid
Alright.
golfer. Plus 4,100, and then only have those both 1 units, and I have just 3 tournament matchup 3 balls. Matt Fitzpatrick over Tyrrell Hatton and Mark Leishman, and then in a tournament trio, and then Webb Simpson over Joel Damon and Matt Kuchar, and Brian Harmon over Lucas Glover and Jonathan Vegas, all of them plus 170 and higher. And those are my 5 bets.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. So my bets were based off of Quail Hollow, but I'm sticking with it. So because looked at the course history and everything and didn't even realize that.
Just throw it out the window.
Yep.
Yep.
Before it's been a weird week. Before today, I didn't even know what tournament was this week. So yeah, it was tough. But if these picks do well, we say I did it on purpose. So my first pick, I'm gonna go with Abraham Answer, top 20. I'm gonna put 1 unit on that. Keith Mitchell, top 20, 1 unit on that. And then Keith Mitchell plus 175 in a 3-ball against Siwoo Kim and Russell Henley, also 1 unit. Rory McIlroy in a group against Corey Connors, Matthew Fitzpatrick, Russell Henley, and Tyrrell Hatton, plus 240. This is the bet that I no longer like as much as I did before, but 1 unit on that. Cameron Young outright, 46-1, half a unit on that. And our guy, who we've mentioned previously, Tony Finau, outright, 25-1, half a unit on that.
Easy money sniper.
And if
All
the
right.
picks go wrong, I just say I did it for Kohala and we move on. Can we also talk about the Niho and how that totally collapsed in
So
round
I was
one?
watching.
Yeah, that was so funny.
So first tee time is at 8:45 on Thursday last week. The Niho was dead by 9:15.
Yeah, and for those who weren't listening last week, the Niho is our new nerfy bet, like no run first
The new
inning in
nerfy bet.
baseball.
No hole in one.
No hole in one. So Pat and Trev both went on the Niho last week, and somehow I still finished below them in skins. But
This is the only one
they
I
both
missed,
went on
besides
Niho,
winners.
and what hole was it that he made the hole in one?
Five.
You know?
5.
5 in the first round.
No. The 5th hole.
It was one of
This
the
is
earliest
hole.
holes
Afi Banra,
of
right?
the golf tournament, and you guys both had the Niho, and it didn't work out like right
No,
away.
it was dead.
And they were attacking that pin all week.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
tough.
That was very funny. Also, maybe we completely I forgot Afi Banra existed until this week again. It's been a while since we've seen
In his
him, I feel
box model.
Doesn't your friend
Yeah.
have his hat or something?
He
Or his
does.
visor?
He
Yeah.
He does. Goes up to me and goes, "Yeah, I have some fat Asian guy's hat." I'm like, Afi Banra? He's like, yes, he was smoking all the time. I'm like, yep, that's him. That's him.
Big vape guy.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get in the clubhouse to end the week. I feel like we kind of covered a lot this week. It's been a long episode, so if we really just want to, maybe we can talk about how I'm going to the Byron Nelson next weekend.
That's right.
That's
Yeah.
next weekend.
Let's
That's
get-
snuck
no.
up on me.
Yep. Wednesday I leave, and from what I can tell, I'm just going to be chilling in a hospitality suite. I don't know which par 3 it is, but overlooking, stadium style par 3, and just
I mean,
chilling.
if you bet on the Niho,
Not bad.
and maybe you should bet on the opposite of the Niho.
No, I should bet on the Yeeho.
The Yeeho. Bet on the
Yeeho.
Yeeho and just bet
Oh.
1 all week.
I'll
like it.
I'll throw on the Yeeho next week. You can
It's
lock
always
that
like
in.
minus money. It's always like minus 200 or something.
No, it's not always.
A lot of the time. It depends on the par 3 averages, but like still.
Yeah, I think it was like minus 175 last week or something like that. I don't know, but
Not as enticing.
that'll be fun. I was looking up the weather in McKinney, Texas. It's like 84 next Wednesday when I get there.
It's not bad. You're there the whole weekend?
I am there the whole weekend. Leave on Monday, so
That's pretty cool.
I'm excited to see the Byron Nelson. My girlfriend was telling me that I should get some sort of like cowboy merchandise from there.
You should show up with you should go wear a
Should go
cowboy
get
hat every day.
A AT&T Byron Nelson like cowboy hat.
That'd be kind
I'd do
of
it.
cool memorabilia.
cool
If you
decoration.
showed up to Silver
probably
Mine with
never
an
wear it
AT&T
again.
Byron Nelson cowboy hat, you're breaking 80. It's just
Well,
I'd do
you got to come on the pod next week or the week after the PGA with your Byron Nelson cowboy hat on.
Shit, do I have to do it?
You might have to now.
we'll see how much it costs.
Okay, what price point can we, if it's $60 or below,
It won't be.
I'll get it.
It'll 100% be $60 or below. I'm assuming, right? It has
Yeah,
to.
they do try to rip you off in some of those.
It's also-
things.
I don't know, it's a
And
cowboy
Texas.
hat.
as golf fans, like we are gladly ripped off when we go.
How
to
much are cowboy
events.
hats in general?
I don't know.
They
You
could
can
be
get a
expensive.
you
I
could get
don't
a
know.
really nice.
Yeah,
Cowboy.
we
There's
have
probably
no
$1,000
idea.
I don't have
cowboy
one.
hats.
How would I know?
There's probably cowboy hats that cost more than my golf.
They
bag,
can't be that because like people go to
Dude,
Nashville
they
all the
could
time
be,
and
though.
get cowboy hats. Like granted, it's
could
not
be.
that. Like I feel like it has to be like
If it's $60 or
$40
below, I'll get
It's a
it.
novelty
Okay.
item.
I'll be getting I'll also get something else, but if it's $60 below, I'll get a cowboy hat.
All right.
Okay.
and I'll wear it on the pod the next week
Yeah.
for
Perfect.
PGA Championship week, I believe.
It is PGA Championship week.
Yeah. Maybe we bring back beating the bookie.
By the way, Taylor Gooch is winning the PGA Championship, and you can
isn't he? Isn't
I think
he
it's
like
gonna be
a
Hovland.
Red Hills,
No,
like
I guess we can
a
hop
host?
on.
Taylor Gooch's favorite and home course
Yeah,
is
that's
Southern
home
Hills.
course.
And
You
he
know
trumps
else's you know else's favorite course is Southern Hills?
When did he ever say that?
Tiger? Is it
Sky
Tiger?
Scheffler.
Scotty Scheffler. That's right.
Scotty
That's on his
Scheffler.
PGA Tour profile.
Profile says favorite course is Southern Hills.
Wait, no, it's Scotty Scheffler that said it was his favorite, but it is
Oh,
Taylor
it's
Gooch's home course.
Yeah.
It is his home course.
That's kind of that's notable.
1-2.
notable.
The exacta.
By the way,
Yeah.
I got Scotty Scheffler to win the PGA Championship a while ago at 40-1.
You got him. Did you get it before he won an event? Or maybe
No.
after he got his first win?
I think after he won the Arnold Palmer,
Okay.
That makes
Uh,
sense. Yeah.
40-1. Now it's like 12-1.
He's probably the favorite. Has to be the favorite right now. Maybe him or Rahm.
It could be Rahm still.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That'll be fun though. I always look forward to the majors at courses we haven't seen.
Yeah, this
Like in a
is
long
always
time or a
the this is
while.
always the one that I struggle to make picks in. I feel like I'm always pretty good at picks on the other three majors, but for some reason the PGA
The PGA is definitely more random, but I'm looking forward to seeing kind of like a new course, like in the Rota. Like we've seen a bunch of these courses obviously before. So
but yeah, we can talk more about that in 2 weeks while I'm wearing
Yeah.
my cowboy hat. So
yeah, exactly.
we'll see you next week, and we'll discuss whether there's going to be a cowboy hat.